So Season 8 for Motorfest launched yesterday, guys, and as I told you in the video, it is a pretty good hybrid between Need for Speed and Forza Horizon. But that being said, it was not without launch issues, and to only be fair, because I did cover some launch issues in Test Drive, I'm going to do the same for Motorfest as well. So let's quickly discuss everything that's going on in Motorfest and some of my further reviews with what the issue is, especially ranked, because I thought ranked was something else, and it's a pretty big issue that I think should be quality of life featured in the future. Let's talk about it. So first, the PS5 issues, because that is probably the biggest thing. At the moment, if you're on PS5 on Motorfest, you have an incredible amount of stuttering issues. And just to take a step back before I get into that, it's something that I have suffered since the launch of Motorfest. And to give you a couple of examples, right here is me doing a grand race. In my Lamborghini RGT streaming, as you guys can see, go through the checkpoint, car switches. Sorry, the car doesn't even switch at this point yet, but somehow I saved it while I'm in first place, by the way, in the grand race. And then I'm now switched to the F1 car. Now, just later in this race, another freezing happens. So coming up to the bridge, as you guys can see, and there we go, which again cost me more of the lead in the grand race. So if this is happening for me and it's not even that extreme, and one thing I should also mention is even in this update I had a stuttering issue, which you guys can see on the screen right here. So it does seem to be some issues affecting players with these issues, and again, hopefully they fix it. Honestly, PS5 users, I don't know how they do it, because let me show you some of the issues from the PS5. So as you can see, some of the player reports on this stuttering is actually pretty damn bad, and grant you that happens in free race, it happens in the grand race, it happens in the playlist. So the issues here are definitely not the greatest on PS5, and hopefully Ubisoft or Ivory Tower can come out with a hotfix patch in the near future, as I'm sure it's not a really good way to start the seasonal updates, and it seems everyone is with their issues on launch. And I also need to go a little bit back as well, because there's also an issue with how the maintenance went as well. So, and if you're on PS5 on Motorfest, let me know in the comment section below if it's like everyone, because I saw one person on Reddit say that they don't have that issue, but maybe it was something else. The next thing I want to talk about though is the server issues. Now, funnily enough, this comes without joke, but the PS4 servers are still down. And you're wondering, okay, well, they probably said something about it. Well, that's what I thought. Now, the first thing to note is that the maintenance was supposed to last 4 hours. It ended up getting extended twice, and then a fair delay with no time mentioned, and then they took the servers online at 6 p.m. CET. So that's basically the full 8 hours of the day, and as you might imagine, 6 p.m. is when the work offices normally close anyways. I don't know how the team works or whatever, but that being said, servers went online, we all thought everything was okay, but PS4 users are not able to log in. In fact, as of making this video, if you are a PS4 user, you can actually not log into the game, which is kind of crazy, and there has been no communication about this. So PS4 users are left in the dark. They don't know if today it will happen, maybe tomorrow. Honestly, I'm sure Ubisoft are aware. In fact, I kind of wonder how they aren't aware, or at least, because you know, if you let in PS4, if you let in players onto the servers, then normally you would monitor how everyone is getting in, but PS4 was just left in the dark with no communication on that, and that's not really good in my opinion. I mean, at least there should be some communication for these users on when their console platform is going to be live online. I guess this also kind of gives a reason to say offline mode and shout offline mode for those issues yet again. Because yeah, online only games aren't the best, especially when it comes to their end of life, which I say every time. If a game is going to be online only, honestly, for me, I'm okay with it, but by the end of its life, it really has to have an offline mode, because otherwise, what's the point, man? Which, speaking of, I also don't agree with this, but it's also kind of a bit random and it's not really that much in the space. But I do think locking a Discord chat on the third server maintenance delay is crazy work. Like, I've seen games lock their chat for a lot worse than that. And honestly, I don't think it's fair or even, you know, like I have to speak about that because that is crazy. Locking a Discord chat because players are asking or saying, yo, when's the maintenance done, whatever. I get it. It's probably annoying for people to keep seeing that over and over again. But locking it is crazy work, especially when you delay a server maintenance with no time. That's probably the worst thing. Forget the stuttering, forget all that. That's probably the worst thing. And then when someone also says following up to that locking, go read a book and touch grass, guys. That's crazy. Like, tell me I'm wrong, please. And I get it, some people aren't actually official moderators or work for Ubisoft, but guys, regardless of all of that, is it not crazy? Because you're still communicating on behalf of the game. It's crazy to say that, bro. There's literally no excuse for that. Maybe like the fan base is okay with it because I don't really see anyone else talking about it, but that's crazy. But one of the last issues that this game has at the launch of its season is also the photo mode, or a thing called photo ops. I will double check. Yeah, photo ops. So photo ops are still crashing the game. I'm not sure if that was an issue from beforehand as well, but it does seem for that. But photo ops from the luxury playlist are still broken, and also it's broken for the new playlist as well. So it does seem to have some issues, and they did post a tweet saying here are the known issues that are being investigated. So it's just collection imports, weekly main stage challenges, and custom shows. Nothing about the PS4, nothing about the PS5 stuttering, nothing about the photo ops, which again, you know, begs to differ. How would they not know? Could be easy example, but working at a publisher and understanding the inner depths of the game developments, it seems everyone has issues. Now, another issue that has been happening is with ranked, and I have a really big issue with ranked, not an actual bug, but it's how it's designed, and I'm going to get into that. But one of the first things, and this is a message from, I guess, the mod, or I don't know, but we are aware of multiple bugs affecting the Grand Race. This is one of our main focus, and I'll give you an update tomorrow regarding our progress. Those who managed to earn ranked points, please be aware we may have to do a ranked reset to fix the issue, and it's strongly recommended you check out the new playlist while we work on a solution. So having played ranked, there are indeed a few issues, and this never happened for me, but another YouTuber was actually streaming, and one of the issues they had was audio gets completely removed during the Grand Race when their vehicles switch. So, and I think it's like that's not for the whole race. Luckily, it comes back after a couple of minutes, but there is a bug with like that. Another bug that I've personally had while playing the Grand Race, which you guys can see gameplay of in the background, is my ranked points don't actually get earned. For some reason, as you guys can see on the screen here, it just didn't work. I didn't get any points for that race, and I finished 10th, which brings me to another issue with the Grand Race. And because I couldn't play this while the game was for the content creators on that special build, I couldn't really talk about it. But I have a massive issue with it, and it's the fact that you can't boot between a casual and ranked mode. For some reason, every playlist, like every Grand Race, is ranked. Now, what does that mean, you're going to ask, Alex? Well, that means now that already the Grand Race, to be fair, has some rammers, it has some issues with how players drive in it and as such, but you throw everyone in ranked, and now every race is ranked. Those same people who do the ramming, who do the crashing, who do the nonsense are going to mess with you in these ranked matches. Because normally what ranked would do is, especially when you get, I mean, first off, going to ranked, people that go there are already going to be better racers because they want to actually challenge themselves and place on leaderboards. So I mean, automatically you would have a difference in quality of racing. Now you take that a step further, obviously the higher the rank you go, the more competitive and fair the races will be. But you throw everyone into the same pool and you start everyone at the same pool, so now it's just trying to get out of that pool. Honestly, it's got to be the dumbest thing, because I was looking forward to ranked only to find out I'm in the same lobby as everyone else. That honestly makes no sense to me, why they wouldn't separate the ranked and the regular play and like a regular playlist of Grand Race. I honestly think it could have been way better. Maybe they could have I mean, maybe they could have been like, okay, you know, here's the race like ranked version. Maybe it's with like 20 players instead of 28. I don't know. Whatever. There could have been many ways to do it. So I'm not a huge fan of how every grand race is ranked now, and there's no disparity. And for sure, I'm not the only ranked person to agree with this. I know for a fact there's got to be other people that do ranked, and there's a Reddit post that literally explains what I'm talking about. So glad they decided that a ranked mode of all things is what this game needs. Now obviously it's a sarcastic post. I do think ranked would be cool to Motorfest anyway, so I'm kind of happy they added it. But what they did say that, although probably sarcastic, but is very true. Now, I never think about my vehicle choice, and I could just meta spam all day, which again, I don't play Motorfest like that to know the metas, so I guess I really actually have to figure that out if I want to rank well. And crash into people on the corners because it's always the fastest method. And since everyone is being forced to play ranked, the only thing that matters now is being the quickest. Now, mind you, my other issue is, that's the thing, bro. It's so messy in the grand race. So now that everything's ranked, you always have issues with other players, bro. I'll get rammed. I'll be trying to challenge for 10th place even, and people are still ramming, bro, going crazy. Bro, it gets me annoyed. I can't even lie. So ranked for me, bro, at this point, I'm not going to play more ranked, because now that I know what it is, I thought it was just a separate lobby, and it wasn't. But that's my huge gripe with ranked. And again, I know I'm not yapping out my neck. I am not the only person to say something like this about how ranked was done. That said, though, and I do hope that every tower are able to really quickly fix this, as I'm sure, honestly, with the team that they have, I'm sure they'll be able to do pretty well in coming out with a hot fix, at least fixing some of these issues, both for the stuttering, the turning on of the PS4 servers, and of course the issue with photo op. So not that much overall with how the overall season is, because at the end of the day, if you don't have issues, it's a pretty good update. Mind you, obviously it's not a TDU, so if you don't like non-TDU games, you're not gonna like it. But I do play other racing games outside of TDU. TDU is still my favorite, of course, because it's TDU. There's other stuff to do in race. But if you like a Need for Speed hybrid with a Forza Horizon hybrid mixed together, they had a baby. Literally, that's how I see Motorfest, and it's kind of doing its own thing between those two, and it's pretty good. My only because as I said, and as you guys have seen in my video of me talking about Motorfest, I love the new customization, I love the new car list, I love the playlist. Honestly, it's probably the best playlist I've ever played, and I think they need to lean more into it. I do kind of wish the Street Riders playlist was a bit more underground, if you get what I'm saying, because as much as, you know, there were a lot of daytime races and all that, I feel like they could have leaned more on that nightlife, night street racing vibe, because that's really what it is. That's street racing. So they could have leaned a bit more in that culture. They got it 80% there, I'd say. The last 20% is kind of nitpicking a bit, but if they really went the whole way, for sure, it's probably going to be hard for them to beat their own playlist that they created there. So just some of my feedback on the whole Motorfest season, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I only made this video because it's only fair. If I'm going to make a video praising the game, I'm going to have to see how it launches. But yeah, guys, I mean, hopefully people don't come for me and say, oh, bro, but TDU is this, TDU is that. Bro, guys, we don't need to put another game down by putting another game up. I mean, honestly, how the community works nowadays, especially, you know, considering that, guys, I'm a YouTuber, I'm going to play other games as well. I see some comments. We can let both games prosper and also discuss both games' issues, and I think it's okay. If you don't do that, then what's really the point? But anyways, I'll leave some food for thought on that topic. I'm Alex7, and I'll see you guys in another racing game video in the future. Peace.